Roger Waters is an odd duck. Truly, there probably isn't a more polarizing musician still working today, whose career dates all the way back to the mid-60s. But oddly enough, the thing people are talking about today most likely isn't Roger's music, but his politics. Whether it's the war in Ukraine, issues between Israel and Palestine, bombings in Syria, or allegations of anti-Semitism, Roger Waters' political takes are majorly overshadowing his musical aspirations in the present day. But forget all that nonsense, because Roger has released a newly recorded version of the classic Pink Floyd song, Money, and the Flying Pig Music Man is here to talk about it. So check your political leanings at the door, and let's discuss what really matters, the music. Right off the bat, I have to say, it's not good. Have you ever tried to reheat McDonald's French fries a day later? This is the audio equivalent of that. Stale, gritty, and ultimately unsatisfying, with a feeling of wasted time once you've finished with it. Everything that makes the original unique and fun is completely removed here. Nick Mason's driving drums are replaced by what sounds like the preloaded drum kit setting and sample from a $49 Casio keyboard from Walmart. No sexy saxophone. No screaming god-tier guitar solo. No musical perfection moment where the 7/8 time signature erupts into 4/4. We don't even get vocals that are sung. None of that. Instead, we sputter along with Roger Waters delivering a spoken word type of delivery. Uttered very close to the microphone, very softly, almost whisper-like, in the lowest of low-register growls the entire way through. And slow, deep talking is the name of the game here. In place of the instrumental solos, we are treated with a few minutes of spoken word poetry. This has to be the absolute worst part of the song. This is Roger Waters basking in the upper echelons of self-indulgent, pretentious, over-ambitious poetry. This extremely long-winded section makes me think, what in God's name are you blathering on about? Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what Roger Waters has always wanted since he hit his stride as a lyricist, and what his former bandmates warned of since the release of the original Dark Side of the Moon all those years ago. For the music to take a complete back seat to his words. I started getting hints of what we find here from his previous solo album effort, Is This the Life We Really Want? The music on that album was fairly decent, but I noticed that right when the songs were about to transition into a cool, interesting instrumental break, they'd almost stop dead in their tracks to make way for some sound effect, an audio collage of news clips, or some rambling from the man himself, in the same low growl he performs here. It was very jarring, and it left me with the feeling that the songs were unfinished, or I was longing for David Gilmour and Rick Wright to jump in and arrange the songs into something more palatable. But I digress. Back to Money. Also making this a chore to listen to is the length. The original had enough changes in it to keep you interested throughout its 6-minute and 22-second runtime, a relatively long song for a radio hit. In contrast, Roger's version holds a steady, slow beat that is extremely repetitive. No tempo changes, no instrumental flourishes to add a bit of color. Save for some newly added sinister sounding strings, which I actually think fit the new mood of the song quite nicely. I wish they were more prominent, because it's the one thing on here that I really enjoyed. Also, the shift from 7/8 to 4/4 is barely noticeable. At 7 minutes and 33 seconds, it is a slog to get through. You feel every second of it, and the song does nothing to earn that extra minute of runtime. Roger Waters announced earlier this year that he has re-recorded the entirety of The Dark Side of the Moon, to finally rid the record of its collaborative band sound, and to emphasize that he himself is the author and driving force behind its songs and message. But this release, what it accomplishes, is further proof that what made Pink Floyd successful and memorable in the first place was its input from all members of the band, even if not credited as songwriters. If Money is any indication of what the rest of the songs will be like in the 2023 remake, I think it'll be a hard pass for me. I mentioned earlier that everything that made this song fun is absent from this new version, and that is my biggest gripe with it. Pink Floyd isn't really known as a quote-unquote fun band. Not many of their songs are upbeat, radio-friendly bangers, but Money was a great exception to that. A song even normies could get into and rock out. Money 2023 is zero fun. There is no enjoyment for me of sitting down for more than 7 minutes and hearing an angry old man recite his poetry and tell me what's wrong with the world. I understand some people's point of view, that the world has gone down the toilet and we should be informed and not stick our heads in the sand about it all. But for me, I live in the world. All I have to do is stick my head out and look around and I can see the hypocrisy. I see the greed, the villainy, the evil. I'm at the point where I want my entertainment, both in music and in movies, to be an escape from the real world, not to be an extension of it. Wallowing in the mire of this rotten world is not how I want to spend my valuable time and money. Pun intended. By the way, it must be mentioned, the one good thing to come from this song is the all too adorable doggo from the music video. Oh, such a good boy. Such a good boy. Oh my god.